The corporate pollution of the planet.
Dangerously toxic chemicals.
130 million pounds of those chemicals annually.
A very toxic substance.
Fluorocarbons.
Elemental mercury.
The pollution problem.
The cloud of deadly toxic gas.
Store and use some of the most toxic gases
the darker
known.
side of high technology.
Toxic legacy.
The toxic materials themselves.
Destruction of certain ecosystems.
Spreading environmental contamination.
Massive epidemic of skin cancer.
Silicon Valley Toxics Coalition.
Well, we got to clean up the toxic waste mess. We're a grassroots, nonprofit environmental organization that was founded almost 20 years ago following the discovery of groundwater contamination in a neighborhood in South San Jose that had been polluted by a leaking underground storage tank at the Fairchild Semiconductor plant. And a group of people came together to form the Toxics Coalition to really fight for a cleaner environment, to fight for a cleaner industry.
We were told for many years that this was a salvation for us, that having seen the valley transform from agriculture to electronics, it was supposedly a smooth transition with no harmful side effects.
I think one of our greatest accomplishments actually is bringing the information to the public that there's some pretty serious hazards associated with the development of this industry, not only here in Silicon Valley, but really increasingly throughout the world.
The coalition is really the only organization that is working effectively at a national, an international, and a local level on these issues.
Because this is an organization that combines research, education, and direct action, activism, to challenge the toxic polluters of our environment.
We're promoting environmental health awareness.
As the high-tech industry is exporting its product and its technology, we want to make sure that it also does not export its toxic legacy.
The water program is designed to not only continue to help clean up the groundwater contamination mess that we have here. We have more Superfund sites here than any place else in the country, caused by the leaking underground storage tanks from the electronics industry. We also have creeks and streams that are highly polluted, and we have the bay right here at our doorstep that has also suffered really great pollution.
We have over 1 million pounds of elemental mercury, a very toxic substance when it methylates, when it enters the food chain. We have over 1 million pounds of that laying in our streams and on the bottoms of the bay. We know that's a health hazard, and we're trying to bring that message out to the public through our Clean Streams, Clean Bay monitoring program. We're the first group in the nation to bring high school students to creeks where they did monitoring for PCB pollution.
Clean Streams, Clean Bay Community Monitoring Project is a collaboration of various high schools, along with Toxics Coalition and technical experts and advisors from various agencies. The students plant clams in the streams, and they accumulate toxins such as PCBs over a period of time. We then take the clams and send them to a lab for further analysis. The students are energetic. They come out and monitor not because they're getting class credit necessarily, but because they care and because they're interested. I see the Clean Streams, Clean Bay Community Monitoring Project as one of the first of many scientific endeavors for the Toxics Coalition, and that we intend to continue to take on scientific projects that will help better inform the community of what's out there.
We work on the Clean Computer Campaign, which is really trying to help clean up the entire life cycle of computer manufacturing, from the research and design level, trying to get rid of some of the really highly toxic materials that are used in computers, all the way through to the waste end or to the end of life issues. We have hundreds of millions of old computers sitting around now that are really toxic themselves. We want to make sure that those don't get into landfills.
The Clean Computer Campaign is a movement to try to get industry to look at their life cycle of their product in a more responsible manner, from production all through the life cycle to the waste of their product. We put out every year the Clean Computer Campaign report card, which rates companies in the US, Japan, Europe, Korea on the type of environmental information that they portray to the public. It gets them to pay attention to how they're perceived by the public as far as environmental issues go. We're involved in a recycling infrastructure with government people and industry people and computer recycling industry people on thinking about ways that we can get the computer recycling infrastructure to work. Computers are starting to build up in, say, people's basements, people's, houses, closets, whatever. There's a really large number of computers that we don't know what to do with. What we have up on the website right now is a temporary map of all the recycling places in the 10-county Bay Area. That's something that we're going to develop into a more user-friendly format.
There are other major barriers that have to do with some of the materials that have been used for a long time in producing computers. It takes groups like the Toxics Coalition pointing to other industry actors who are making it cleaner, who are doing it greener, and saying, look, this could be the standard.
We're also working with the Health and Environmental Justice Program, which is really trying to organize people around their own health, whether they're on the job or in the community, and to bring their health issues to the public and to the public health department.
With different types of constituencies, we communicate with them in different ways. With workers and community persons, we organize them. And we work through two programs, and one is called the Family and Community Environmental School. That stands for FACES.
What's really bad from cars is the brake pad dust. And that pollutes the rivers. It's been polluting our bay.
It's basically trying to build networks and relationships with people so that when we're sharing information with them, they know it's something that they trust, or it comes from someone that they've worked with before, or someone that they also want to work with in the future. We find that there is a lack of resources and a lack of attention by public health given to environmental health matters. And so we're in a campaign to promote environmental health among healthcare professionals and among clinics. We always approach industry with the best intentions, that they have a stake in improving cleaner production methods, not only for their own workers, but also for the community that surrounds them. If you use cleaner production methods, it's been proven in the past so many times that it costs you less to do cleaner preventive methods than to clean it up later.
Ever since the early 80s, the companies have been required to clean this up, and the way they do that is by pumping the groundwater out of the aquifers. And what we see over behind me here is an aeration tower where the water is actually pumped up through that tower, and then they just put them right into the air. So what they're really doing is just transferring the chemicals from the ground into the air.
I think the coalition is both a watchdog in industry, but also increasingly a help and a source of new ideas and inspiration for the industry to improve its environmental performance.
We also have developed initially the Campaign for Responsible Technology, and more recently the International Campaign for Responsible Technology, to address the issues of the expansion of the high-tech industry globally.
The high-tech revolution is here, and we want to make sure that that development does not adversely impact communities, workers, people's health, the economics of the community. We want to make sure that that economic growth is a positive experience.
One of the areas that we're working on right now is really trying to change the rules of the game, to say to producers of products, particularly electronic products, but it's really broader than that, that they actually have a responsibility, not just to make a profit and make a product, but they have a responsibility to society.
Corporations do not willingly just implement environmental or worker protections. They, I believe, are almost always forced into enacting those protections, and we need to collectively be vigilant for the sake of a worker, for the sake of their family, our community, and our environment.
And it's just building a movement one person at a time to demand corporate accountability, government accountability, and the end of destructive environmental practices.
As the high-tech industries take their manufacturing business elsewhere, environmentalists are studying the Silicon Valley example.
One environmentalist from New Mexico says he's worried.
That the footprint that's being left by the electronics industry, by high-tech industry, is a footprint of groundwater contamination, of poisoned communities, and poisoned workers.
Well, I think that through our website and through the different publications, people are learning about our work, but they're also seeing that we're creating a model.
You know, after our increased understanding of Silicon Valley and some of the environmental issues here, we really made the connection right away of what's going on here and also with what is happening in Taiwan.
I think the coalition is striking a really important balance between holding industry accountable for increasing the environmental performance, but at the same time working with industry when those opportunities present themselves.
We've had a gas leak of arsine in Palo Alto. We've had a gas leak of phosphine in Santa Clara. We know of 2 workers who have already died back in the Boston area from exposure to arsine gas. I'm afraid we're just beginning to see what is likely or at least possible to happen coming down the pike.
The folly of the way industry and commerce all over the world recklessly used our air, water, soil, stratosphere, oceans as their private sewers.
Technology is not the solution. People to people, that's the solution.
Silicon Valley Toxics Coalition, grassroots if I may, they're invaluable. The people coming together, talking, they make a difference. They send out referrals. They're a support system. They know the truth. They can educate themselves. They're there for each other. And when they all come out together, it's each one as an individual, but when you come together collectively, you make an impact. You make a statement.
I think I'm encouraged by the fact that increasingly I see people at the grassroots level getting more and more involved in environmental and health issues. It tells me there's something going on in the human soul that is responding and seeing that these problems are really serious and that we have to do something about them now before it's too late.
The high-tech industry is the industry of our time. It's the fastest growing manufacturing sector in the world. It's the fastest moving manufacturing sector in the world.
There's a kind of pattern here, and it's a pattern of addiction to technologies as solving human problems. We beg to differ. Humans are the only solution.